Mlwa, Velוה, chapter 13:1. The following laws apply when a lender comes to expropriate property on the basis of a promissory note in his possession. The borrower is not present. If it is possible to send a messenger to the borrower and notify him that he can confront the lender in judgment, we send a messenger to notify him. If it is impossible to notify the borrower speedily, we instruct the lender to take an oath and then to expropriate property belonging to the borrower, either land, property, movable property. We do not consider the possibility that the borrower would pay the debt and the lender gave him a receipt. This law is in accordance with is an ordinance of the sages enacted so the people at large would not take money belonging to a colleague and go to dwell in another city, for this would hinder the possibilities of loans being granted in the future too. The lender must bring proof of 3 matters to the court before he can expropriate property from the borrower outside his presence. A, he must verify the authenticity of the promissory note in his possession. B, he must prove that the debtor is in another city and is not present to defend himself in court. C, he must prove that the property that he wishes to expropriate belongs to so-and-so the borrower. 3, the following will apply when a lender comes to the court bringing security that is in his possession and says, this security belongs to so-and-so and I desire to sell it to receive payment of the debt he owes me. The court does not take action and does not tell or wait until the borrower comes and lodges his claim. The rationale is that had the lender desired to say that the security had been purchased, his word would be accepted. The court advises him to sell the security in the presence of witnesses so that the borrower will know for how much the security was sold. Similarly, when a person gives a loan to a colleague and receives security in return, and then both the borrower and the lender die, regardless of whether the borrower or the lender dies first, the lender's heirs may take an oath and collect the debt. The lender's heir must take an oath holding a sacred object before he takes payment from the security, as is done by all those who take an oath and collect their due. His word is accepted because he is taking payment from property that is in his physical possession. Had he desired, he could have said that he had purchased the property. Why is the creditor not required only to take a shvuas hesed? Because he is not taking an oath that the security is his, but rather the money is owed to him. If he lodged a claim concerning the article itself, saying you sold it to us or you gave it to us, he would be able to take a shvuas hesed to be free of responsibility. By contrast, there were witnesses who would testify that this article was given to the lender as security, but they did not know for what amount. He would be able to collect the money only after taking an oath. Since there are no witnesses, the lender would be able to claim it as mine. Therefore, we accept his word when he says so-and-so much money is owed to me, and this is security for that provided that he takes the same oath he would take if there were witnesses who would testify the article was given as security. We do not free him of responsibility of the oath because we do not employ the principle of miga to free a person of the responsibility to take an oath, but only to free him of financial responsibility, i.e. he is not required to return the security before he takes what he claims. 4. The following will apply when a person lends money to a colleague and receives a security for a loan. Should the security be lost or stolen in a manner that is not beyond the lender's control, the lender is liable for the value of the security, as explained. If the lender says, I let you sell for that security, but it was worth only 2 dinarim, and the borrower says, you let me sell for that security, but it was worth a selah, the lender must first take the oath taken by the watchman that the article is not in his possession. The borrower must then take an oath, must take a shvuas hesed that the security was worth the amount of the debt, and he is free of responsibility. If the lender says, I let you sell for that security, but it was worth only 2 dinarim, and the borrower says, you let me sell for that security, but it was worth 3 dinarim, the lender must first take an oath that the article is not in his possession. Afterwards, the borrower must take a scriptural oath how much the article was worth. This is required because he acknowledged a portion of the plaintiff's claim. He pays the dinar that he admits to owing. If the borrower says, you let me sell for the security, and it was worth 2 slayim. The lender says, let you sell for that security, it was worth a sell. The lender must take an oath that the article is not in his possession, and included in that oath, that security was worth only the amount of the debt. If the borrower says, you let me sell for the security, and it was worth 2 slayim, the lender says, I let you sell for that security, and it was worth only 5 dinar, the lender must take an oath that the article is not in his possession, and included in that oath that the security was not worth more than 5 dinar, he must then pay the dinar. If the lender says, I lent you a slave for that security, but it was worth only 2 dinarim, and the borrower says, I don't know how much it was worth. The lender must take an oath that the article is not in possession, and including that oath that security was worth only 2 dinarim, the borrower must then pay the remainder of the debt. The rationale is that he definitely knows that he is liable for the 2 dinarim and does not know whether or not he paid the debt. If the borrower says, you let me sell for the security, and it was worth 2 slayim, the lender says, I let you sell for that security, and I do not know how much it was worth. The lender must take an oath that the article is not in possession, including that oath that he does not know the security was worth even put them more than that, he's then free of responsibility because he did not obligate himself at all. If, however, the lender said, I know that the security was worth more than the loan, but I do not know how much more, he must pay everything that the borrower demands. The borrower is not even required to take an oath that resembles an instance when the plaintiff lodges a claim for 100 zuz, and the defendant responds, I owe you 50, and I do not know whether I owe you the other 50. Such a person is obligated to take an oath, but cannot take an oath, therefore he must pay, as will be explained. He may, however, have a ban of ostracism issued against anyone who makes a false claim. 5. When a person lends money to a colleague and establishes a date when he will almost be repaid, even though he does not affirm the matter with a kinyan, he may not demand payment until the conclusion of that time period. This applies regardless of whether the loan is supported by an oral argument, by a promissory note, or by security, or whether the borrower or the lender dies. When no other term is mentioned, the term of a loan is 30 days. This applies regardless of whether the loan is supported merely by an oral commitment or by a promissory note or by security. The lender stipulated that he can demand payment whenever he desires. He has the right to demand payment even though the loan was given. The rationale is that the stipulation involving monetary issues. 6. The lender claims today is the conclusion of the term established for the loan. The borrower responds, you grant me another 10 days. The borrower must take a shvuas hesed to support his claim. If there is one witness who testifies that the loan loan was due that day, the borrower must take a scriptural oath as the law with regard to other claims. If the lender claims there are only 5 days left before the loan is due and the borrower responds there are 10 days left, we tell the lender wait until the end of 5 days and then have the borrower take an oath that 5 days remain. 7. If the loan was supported by a promissory note and the borrower claims you established a time for me to pay the debt, it appears to me that the creditor should take as well. It says they did not place any time limit on the loan, he may then collect the loan immediately. 8. Payment of a loan may be demanded in any place. What is implied when a person lends money to a colleague in a settled place and demands payment from him in the desert, the borrower may not postpone payment. Instead, he is obligated to pay him wherever he demands money. If the borrower seeks to repay the loan in the desert, the lender is given the option. If he desires to accept payment, if he desires to tell him pay me back only in a settled area, just as I gave you the money in a settled area. The money that remains the borrower's responsibility until he pays the lender in a settled area. Chapter 14.1. The following situation, despite the fact that he possesses a promissory note, the lender may collect payment only after taking a scriptural oath that resembles one required by scripture. Taking an oath that resembles one required by scriptural law. A. A person who impairs legal power for promissory note. B. A person who produces a promissory note that one witness testifies has been paid. C. A person who seeks the payment outside the borrower's presence. D. A person who expropriates money from purchasers. E. A person who seeks to collect a debt from heirs with a below majority or above majority. When such a person comes to take an oath, we tell him to take the oath and collect your due. If the loan was not due until a specific time and he demands payment on the day the loan was due, he may collect payment without taking an oath. Once the day the loan is due is passed, he may collect payment only after taking an oath. 2. The following was when a person demands payment from a colleague for a debt recorded in a promissory note. The borrower claims that he paid this promissory note and the possessor of the note claims that he did not pay anything. The court tells the borrower pay him. If the borrower demands have him take an oath from me that did not pay him and then collect the debt, the court requires the lender to take an oath while holding a sacred object that did not pay him at all, or that he paid him only such and such. Afterwards, he may collect his claim. If the lender is a Torah scholar, the court does not require him to take an oath. 3. If there is a difference of opinion regarding the item of the following situation. The lender produces a promissory note whose authenticity has been verified. The borrower claims the promissory note is false. I never wrote it. The promissory note involves interest or a shade of interest. It was given on faith. I wrote it with the intention of borrowing, but I never took the loan, i.e. he issues a claim that if acknowledged, but the lender would nullify the promissory note. The lender retains that the promissory note is genuine, and the borrower is issuing a false claim. The borrower demands the lender take an oath before collecting. There's one option that rules that the holder of the promissory note is obligated to take an oath that resembles a scriptural oath just when the borrower claimed that he paid that. My teachers, by contrast, ruled that the lender should not be compelled to take an oath unless the borrower claims that he paid him. The rationale is that he acknowledged the validity of the promissory note and the debt is fit to be repaid. We do not, however, by contrast, accept the borrower's word with regard to all these other claims to nullify the power of promissory note's authenticity has been verified. Instead, the borrower should pay and afterwards lodge any claim against the lender that he desires. If the lender acknowledges the claim, he will return the money to him. If he denies it, he will take it for what it says. In my opinion, also leans toward this view. 4. Our sages issued these rulings in the following situation. The lender produced a promissory note demanded payment of a colleague. He claims that he was not paid at all. The borrower claims that he repaid half the debt. A witness testified the entire debt was repaid. The borrower must take an oath and then pay the other half. The rationale is that he admits to owing a portion of the debt. He is not considered to be comparable to a person who returns lost object because the promissory note causes him to be afraid. The lender may expropriate this half of the debt only from the landed property that is within the borrower's possession. He may not attach property that has been sold. The rationale is that the person will say rely on the testimony of witnesses that they have nullify the legal power of this promissory note. 5. The following was supplied when the lender produces a promissory note whose authenticity he is not able to verify. And the borrower says the truth that I wrote this promissory note, but I repaid it. It was given on faith. I wrote it with the intention of borrowing, but never took the loan or another claim of this nature. Since the borrower could have claimed this never happened, and our acceptance of the promissory note is dependent on his statement. So what is accepted, he may take a full assessment and be free of responsibility. If the lender is able to verify authenticity of the promissory note afterwards, the court is considered as any other promissory note. 6. The lender's claim is not accepted in the following situation. The lender produces a promissory note whose authenticity has been verified, and the borrower claims it's a forgery. I never wrote it. It was given on faith. The lender states that this is true, but I had an acceptable promissory note. It was lost. Although it was the lender who invalidated his promissory note, and had he desired, he could have said it is not a forgery. For its authenticity was verified by the court. He cannot use the expropriated property belongs to the borrower. May take it for his be free of responsibility, but the promissory note is likened to a shard. So when a promissory note was used for a loan and then repaid, it may not be used again for the lien it created was already waived. It is likened to a shard. 8. The following laws apply when the lender produces a promissory note whose authenticity has been verified, demanding payment from a colleague. The borrower states, did I not pay you? And the lender answers, you did, but I returned the money to you, and then you lent it the second time. The promissory note that is repaid is nullified and is likened to a shard. However, the lender says, I returned the money to you because the coins were not good. You could exchange them. He's not nullify the promissory note, and the lien it created still exists. 9. Promissory note is to qualify in the following situation. A lender produces a promissory note whose authenticity has been verified that indicates that the borrower owes him money. The borrower states, did I not pay in the presence of so-and-so and so-and-so? The witnesses come and testify. The borrower indeed repaid the lender, but then I mentioned the promissory note. The lender replies, it is true that you paid me, but you repaid me for another debt that you owe me. The lender's word is not accepted, and the promissory note is null. When to apply when the witnesses testify the borrower gave the lender the money as repayment of a debt. If whoever they saw him gave him money, but did not know whether it was given as a repayment of a debt, safekeeping rest of present different rules apply. If the possessor of a promissory note says he never repaid me, he is established as a liar, and the promissory note is nullified. If he says it was payment for another debt, his word is accepted. He must take an oath and then he may collect the money mentioned in the promissory note. The rationale is that the borrower did not repay him in the presence of witnesses, since the lender can claim you gave them to me as a present. His word is accepted. If he has said that the money was given to him as repayment for another debt. A promissory note by contrast is nullified in the following situation. The borrower told the lender this promissory note was composed for the price of a steer that I purchased from you and collected the money for its meter. Where the lender replied, yes, the promissory note was composed for that purpose, but I collected the money for that debt with the understanding that the promissory note would apply to another debt that you owe me. The rationale is that the lender himself admitted the debt mentioned the promissory note was for the meat of a steer, and that he received payment for the debt. Plus, even if there are no witnesses, the money was given for the payment of the debt. Hence, all that is necessary is that the borrower take a shvus that he paid the debt. Similar principles apply in analogous situations. 10. When the lender produces a promissory note that is signed by one witness and the borrower claims that he paid the debt, the borrower is obligated to take an oath. Since he cannot take that oath, he must make a financial restitution. If the borrower demands that the lender take an oath that I did not pay the debt, he must take the oath. The rationale is that even if the witnesses were signed on the promissory note, the borrower demanded to take an oath that I did not pay the debt, the lender will be obligated to take the oath, as we have explained. 11. Similarly, my teachers ruled, when a person denies a loan or supported by oral commitment in a court, and one witness testifies that he borrowed the money, the defendant is required to take a scriptural oath. The defendant reversed his position, said he has to loan, but rather pray the lender waived payment of my favor or owes money to me because of another matter. We consider him to be a person who is required to take an oath, but we cannot take the oath, must therefore make financial restitution. 12. The following was applied when a defendant claims that he paid a promissory note, but says, let the lender take an oath. If he does, he can collect him by the debt. We tell the defendant, bring your money to court. Then he will take the oath and collect the money. If the defendant does not have the funds to pay, we require him to take the oath as stated with the guy, and there is no financial resources, then he acquires. When he acquires resources, he must pay the creditor, but first he may require him to take an oath that the debtor did not pay him previously. Afterwards, the debtor must pay him. 13. The following laws apply when a person is owed debt by a colleague that is supported by a promissory note. The promissory note becomes lost. The witnesses are still present. Even though the debt was affirmed in the presence of witnesses by a claim, the borrower claims that he paid the debt. He is required only to take a shvus test. The teachers rule that even if the debt was given for a specific time and the due date has not yet arrived, when the promissory note was written, is no longer in his possession. The borrower claims that he repaid the debt. The borrower's word is accepted, provided he takes an oath that he paid the lender. The rationale is respect that he paid him for that reason he tore the promissory note or destroyed it in fire. Similar teachers rule that even if the promissory note is in the possession of another person, the borrower claims it fell from my possession after I paid it, he must take a shvus test, then he's released from all obligations. It applies even if the due date of the promissory note has not arrived. Since the promissory note is not in the possession of the lender, we do not operate on the presumption that the debt is outstanding. 14. The following laws apply when both the borrower and the lender are holding on to the promissory note, and the lender says it is mine. I took it out to demand payment from you, and the borrower says I repaid you, and it fell from my possession. If the authenticity of the promissory note can be verified, both claimants are each required to take an oath that no less than half of the value of the promissory note belongs to them. The borrower then pays half. If the authenticity of the promissory note cannot be verified, the borrower must take a shvus test, and then he's released from all obligations. 15. Our stages ordained the precautions be adopted to protect the borrower's interest in the following situation. The person claims to a colleague, you owe me money. The colleague responds, I did not owe you anything, or I paid you. The plaintiff demands, take a shvus test for me. The borrower responds, you have a promissory note concerning this debt. You want to compel me to take an oath first and then produce the promissory note, use it to collect payment. We tell the lender, produce the promissory note. The lender says, I never had a promissory note against the person, no, I had a promissory note and I lost it. My teachers ruled that we tell the lender, nullify the legal power of any promissory note you possess until the present time. Afterwards, you can require him to take a shvus test. Externally, you can have a conditional ban of lost shares. You can go and seek until you find the promissory note. Chapter 15. When a person lends money to a colleague in the presence of witnesses until the borrower did not pay me outside the presence of witness, the borrower must repay him in the presence of witnesses because of the stipulation. This applies whether he made the stipulation at the time that was given or after the loan was given. If the borrower claims I fulfilled the stipulation, repaid with the presence of so and so and so, and they journeyed overseas or died, his word is accepted. He may take a shvus test, and then he's free of responsibility. Similarly, if the lender says repay me only in the presence of third scholars or in the presence of doctors, and the borrower claims I repaid you in their presence, but those witnesses in whose presence I repaid you died or journeyed overseas, his word is accepted. He may take a shvus test. He may take a shvus test, and then he's free of responsibility. If the lender stipulates to not repay me except in the presence of so and 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 so, the borrower claims to repay you in the presence of other witnesses and the died or journeyed overseas. His word is not accepted. Indeed, the lender stipulated do not pay me except in the presence of Reuben and Shimon or standing with him, so the borrower will not rebuff and say repay you in the presence of other people, and they journeyed away. 2. There are versions of the Talmud that state when the person tells a colleague do not pay me after the presence of witnesses, and the borrower claims I filled the stipulation repaid you in the presence of so and so and so and so, and they journeyed overseas or died. His word is not accepted. This is a scribal error. For this reason, the halachic authorities err because of these texts. I researched ancient versions of the text and found the state that a borrower's word is accepted. In Egypt, the portion of ancient text of the Talmud written on parchment is the custom in the era approximately 500 years before the present era came to my possession. I found 2 versions of the law among the parchments. Both state if he claims I fulfilled the stipulation, repaid you in the presence of so and so and so and so, and they journeyed overseas or died, his word is accepted. Because of the error that occurred with regard to some text, or Slavka who ruled that the lender stipulated not repay me except in the presence of so and so and so and so, and the borrower repaid him in the presence of others. The borrower's word is not accepted even if he brought witnesses and testified that he paid him in the presence This is also a great mistake. The true law is that if witnesses can testify that he paid the lender in the presence, the borrower is freed from responsibility. There is no place for suspicion. This ruling also stems from those texts that state with regard to a lender who tells his colleague of payment in the presence of witnesses who study Torah law, and the borrower pays in the presence of ordinary witnesses. This is also scribal error. In the above mentioned parchments, I found it written, and he went and paid him in private. Although these texts have been carefully edited, this appears to be the ruling based on the judgment of Talmud. Moreover, those concepts make sense. What should the borrower do? The lender told him, "Do not pay me except in the presence of witnesses." If you pay in the presence of witnesses, should he have locked witnesses in prison for their entire lives so they do not depart? Besides, what could he do if they die? Thus, the borrower will be forced to pay the lender time after time until he brings witnesses to court. This makes the testimony equivalent to testimony recorded in a legal document. Thus, by saying, "Do not pay me except in the presence of witnesses," the lender endows the loan with the strength of the loan recorded in permission note. There is no one who would think that this is correct. Indeed, certainly, if the lender stipulated, "Do not pay me except in the presence of so-and-so and so-and-so," the borrower caused him to a loss if he repaid the loan in the presence of other witnesses departed. If, however, those witnesses came to testify that he repaid the debt, there is no question the borrower should not be held responsible. This is the matter in which judgment should be rendered and instruction should be given. 3. If the lender had the borrower agreed to the stipulation that the lender's word would be accepted whenever he claimed the borrower did not repay him, he may collect the debt without taking a note. That applies even though the borrower claims that he paid him. If, however, the borrower brings witnesses who testify that he paid him, the lender is not entitled to expropriate any funds. 4. If the lender had the borrower agreed to the stipulation, the lender's word would be accepted if testimony of 2 witnesses. Even if the borrower brings witnesses to testify that he paid him, he may collect the debt without taking an oath. For he accepted his word as that of 2 witnesses. It applies even if the borrower brought 100 witnesses that he paid the lender. For the legal power of 2 witnesses, the same as that of 100 witnesses. If, however, the borrower told the lender, "I accept your word as that of 3 witnesses," since he mentioned the number, if the borrower pays the lender in the presence of 4 witnesses, we consider that to be paid. When a person accepted the lender's word as equivalent to that of 2 witnesses, how can he correct the matter? When he pays, he should have the promissory note ripped up. The lender testify that he nullifies every promissory note he has against so-and-so. The borrower or the lender give testimony against himself outside the presence of the borrower that he received payment for all debts owed to him by so-and-so and the borrower. 5. The borrower pays the lender claims that he was not paid, and the borrower paid him a second time because of the stipulation. The borrower can lodge a suit against the lender claiming, "You owe me such and such because I paid you twice." If the lender acknowledges the borrower's claim, he must repay him. If he denies the claim, he is required to take his hesitant, and the borrower paid him only once. Similar principles apply in analogous situations. 6. The borrower had the lender agree to the stipulation, the borrower's word would be accepted whenever he claimed that he paid the debt. The lender may not collect this debt on the basis of this permission, neither from the borrower's heir, nor from the person who purchased property from him. Moreover, even if the borrower said, "I did not pay the debt," the lender may not use the promissory note to expropriate property from the person who purchased property from the borrower. The rationale is that we suspect the lender and the borrower perpetrated an act of deception take to purchase property. If the borrower claims to have paid a portion of the debt recorded in this promissory note, the lender claims that he did not pay anything. The borrower is required to pay the portion that he admitted to owing with regard to the remainder. He is required to take a shvus hezed. The rationale is that the lender accepted his word. If originally stipulated that his word would be acceptable having to take a shvus hezed, he is not required to take an oath. 7. If the lender stipulates that his word will be accepted without his having taken an oath, he may collect that without taking an oath. However, he must collect the debt from the borrower's heirs, he must take an oath. If only afterwards may he collect the debt. If, however, he stipulated that he would also be able to collect from the heirs without taking an oath, he may collect the debt from them without taking an oath. Similarly, if the lender stipulates that he will be able to expropriate the most valuable property from the owner, he may expropriate that property even from the heirs. The rationale is that any stipulation made with regard to financial matters is binding. The lender comes to collect. If the lender comes to collect from a person who purchased property from the borrower, he may expropriate the property only after taking an oath. The rationale is that the borrower may not accept the stipulation that will cause a colleague a loss.